the sanctified 5 a.m. club, where the air is crisp, the world is quiet, and your sanity slowly erodes one early morning at a time. You've heard it all before. Rising at the crack of dawn is the secret sauce to success, the golden ticket to productivity. But what if I told you that getting up before the sun is actually just a fast track to a life of exhaustion and misery? Shocking, I know. The myth of the early bird is as old as time itself, perpetuated by society's relentless obsession with productivity and success. It's the idea that the earlier you rise, the more successful you'll be. After all, how many times have you heard that successful people like Tim Cook and Oprah Winfrey start their day at the crack of dawn? They've practically turned it into a cult, with countless articles, books, and motivational speeches preaching the gospel of pre-dawn productivity. Entire industries have sprung up around this notion, selling everything from alarm clocks that mimic the sunrise to journals that boast about how many goals you can crush before breakfast. The narrative is seductive. Wake up early, get a head start on the world, and success will surely follow. The 5 a.m. club has become a status symbol, a badge of honor for those who claim to have mastered the art of early rising. It's the ultimate humble brag, as if waking up at an ungodly hour somehow grants you access to a secret society of elite achievers. But let's be real, not everyone is designed to function optimally at the crack of dawn. Yet, this myth persists, pressuring night owls and regular folks alike to bend to its will in the name of success. But what if this whole early bird narrative is just a cleverly disguised form of self-sabotage? What if waking up at 5 a.m. is less about being productive and more about setting yourself up for a slow, painful burnout? Imagine if the real secret to success was, gasp, actually getting a decent amount of sleep. Intrigued? You should be. First, let's delve into what science has to say about sleep. According to the National Sleep Foundation, adults need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night to function optimally. A study published in the journal Sleep Health found that sleep deprivation negatively impacts cognitive performance, mood, and overall health. So, if you're waking up at 5 a.m., but only going to bed at midnight because you're too busy basking in the glow of your electronic devices, you're not exactly setting yourself up for a productive day. You're more likely to stumble through your tasks, fueled by copious amounts of caffeine and a growing sense of dread. Consider the study published in the journal PLOS One, which found a direct link between sleep deprivation and reduced cognitive function. Participants who were sleep deprived performed significantly worse on cognitive tasks compared to their well-rested counterparts. So much for that 5 a.m. productivity boost, huh? And let's not forget the impact on your physical health. Chronic sleep deprivation has been linked to a host of health issues, including obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. But hey, at least you got a tweet about being part of the 5 a.m. club, right? Let's talk about Sarah, a once bright-eyed and bushy-tailed member of the 5 a.m. club. In January 2022, inspired by the latest self-help book, she decided to revamp her routine and join the ranks of the early risers. For the first few weeks, she was unstoppable, bragging to her friends about how much she accomplished before 9 a.m. But as the months dragged on, the cracks began to show. By March, Sarah was battling constant fatigue, her once radiant complexion now ashen and dull. Her productivity plummeted, and she found herself snapping at colleagues over trivial matters. In April, she landed in her doctor's office, complaining of chronic headaches and anxiety. The diagnosis? Sleep deprivation. Her doctor advised her to ditch the 5 a.m. routine and prioritize getting a full night's sleep. Reluctantly, she followed the advice, and after a few weeks of regular, sufficient sleep, Sarah was back to her old self, minus the early morning wake-up calls. Her productivity soared, her mood improved, and her colleagues no longer feared her wrath. Sarah learned the hard way that sometimes, less really, is more. Now let's look at some cold, hard statistics. A survey conducted by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, revealed that 1 in 3 adults does not get enough sleep. This lack of sleep costs the U.S. economy an estimated $411 billion annually in lost productivity. That's right. All those early risers might actually be contributing to an economic drain. Further research by Rand Corporation found that if Americans simply increased their sleep to between 7 and 9 hours per night, the economic impact could potentially be reduced by up to $226 billion. So while you're busy patting yourself on the back for waking up early, you might actually be costing your company and the economy big time. And let's not forget the impact on mental health. According to the American Psychological Association, sleep deprivation is a significant risk factor for depression and anxiety disorders. So if you find yourself feeling more irritable and less able to cope with stress, you might want to reconsider that early morning routine. Psychologically, our brains are wired to crave sleep, not the sound of a blaring 5 a.m. alarm. According to sleep experts, our circadian rhythms are naturally inclined to follow a cycle that aligns with daylight hours. Forcing yourself to wake up at 5 a.m. can disrupt this natural cycle, leading to what's known as social jet lag. This term refers to the mismatch between your body's internal clock and your social obligations. Essentially, you're living in a different time zone than your body is accustomed to, which can lead to a host of issues, including cognitive impairment and mood disturbances. Our brains are not designed to function optimally on less sleep, and trying to override this basic biological need is like trying to run a car without fuel. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. So, what can you do if you're caught in the 5 a.m. trap and want to escape with your sanity intact? Here are some practical, actionable steps to reclaim your sleep and your life. First, determine your natural sleep cycle. Pay attention to when you feel most alert and energetic, and try to align your sleep schedule with these times. Second, create a bedtime routine that signals to your brain that it's time to wind down. This could include activities like reading, taking a warm bath, or practicing relaxation techniques. Third, limit exposure to blue light from screens at least an hour before bed, as this can interfere with your body's production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Fourth, make your sleep environment as comfortable as possible. Invest in a good quality mattress, keep your bedroom cool and dark, and eliminate any noise disturbances. Finally, if you're used to waking up at 5 a.m., gradually adjust your wake-up time by 15-minute increments until you reach a more sustainable hour. Remember, the goal is to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to take on the day, not like you've just been hit by a freight train. But what about those die-hard early risers who swear by their 5 a.m. routine? Surely they're onto something, right? Well, yes and no. For some people, waking up early may indeed work. They might naturally be morning people, and that's perfectly fine. But for the rest of us, trying to force an early wake-up call is like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't work. The key is to find what works for you, not what society dictates should work. Remember, success isn't about the time you wake up, but rather what you do with the hours you have. So, if you're more productive at 10 a.m., own it. Embrace your natural rhythm and let go of the pressure to conform to the 5 a.m. club. Why does all of this work, you ask? Because, believe it or not, sleep is actually important. Shocking revelation, I know. By aligning your sleep schedule with your natural rhythms, you're giving your brain and body the rest they need to function at their best. You'll be more alert, more productive, and most importantly, you'll be a lot less cranky. It's not about waking up early, it's about waking up right. So, go ahead, hit that snooze button and guiltlessly enjoy an extra hour of sleep. Your body will thank you and so will everyone around you. So, there you have it. The next time someone tries to rope you into the cult of the 5 a.m. club, feel free to share these insights and politely decline. Or, just ignore them and enjoy your sleep. If you found this video enlightening, or at the very least entertaining, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deadpan truths from yours truly, Guy. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. After all, who doesn't love a good debate about sleep schedules? Remember, folks, life is short, and so is your patience. Don't waste precious hours waking up when you'd rather be dreaming. Until next time, keep it lazy, keep it real, and for goodness sake, get some sleep. Guy out.